Okay, let's restart that. Hello, welcome to the first episode of
Broadcast.
Right, awesome. My name is Kenneth, and this is the beautiful, the one and only, the most fantastic of all time. Quick, say your name.
I'm Yvette.
It's so awkward. Okay, this is a podcast, as you can tell. Yay, we have a podcast. Pure Production has a podcast in this room, this echoey room. Obviously the setup is like bare minimum. Bought mics, bought like a mixer and stuff. But here we are today. This is a wonderful first episode. Many more to come. Maybe not. We might end after the first ever try. But yeah, how do you feel being here today?
Great.
The number of words you've said so far is like 3-4 words.
I said a grand total of 2 words.
Okay, good job. So today we're gonna talk about a few things. I think maybe I'll jump a bit more about why we are starting this, or why I'm starting this. Is this a combined project? Are we doing this together?
Aren't we?
Yeah, I guess so. And maybe we'll just share a bit more about, chasing passion, as you can see from the title of this podcast. I'm uploading this in YouTube as well as a lot of the other platforms. I will need to figure this out after we are done this podcast. So if you don't see it in some platform that you usually hear on, then let me know. I'll just try to figure out. But there's a platform that I think I'm working on, which I can just deliver to all the other so-called podcast platform. So maybe we should just start introducing ourselves. I think the topic here today is about passion, right? It's about like I guess like at this age, we all have graduated from school, we all started working, and I guess in some ways we are all considered young working adults. I hope I'm still considered a young working adult. I guess so, right? Like not the youngest, but considered young-ish lah, huh?
I mean, you're still a millennial, right? I guess.
Yeah, like I worked for 5 years, close to 6 years. Yeah, compared to people who has been working for 20 years, so I suppose I'm considered young per se lah, huh? Relative. So yeah, maybe you want to talk about like your experience of working so far. How long have you been working? The line that
Why don't you start first, since you're a senpai?
Senpai. Senpai.
Senpai.
I'm working in a communications line, so I think some of my work that I'm doing also is a bit related to videos. So yeah, I think that's about it. Do you hear that? King gong gong sound. Anyway, that's not the point. Yeah, the point is that I studied chemical engineering, so it's quite different from what I'm doing today. I basically went to steal the jobs of like communication students.
Thanks.
And yeah, do I go on from here, or do you want to talk about what you do first?
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe we set some context first lah, huh?
So I've been working for how long? Almost 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Yeah, almost 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm also doing communications.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we met at work.
Yep.
And yeah, I've always studied communication, so he's stealing my job.
Okay.
Kind of.
You need to speak closer to the mic.
Am I too soft?
Yes, you were too soft.
Okay. I guess I'm louder now.
Yes, you're a lot louder now.
Yep. So I'm doing communications too, but more of the writing side. So I mean, I can make videos if I want to, but it's more difficult.
What do you mean more difficult? Like it's a bit more challenging
More
for
challenging than writing.
you.
Yeah.
Mm.
So writing.
Yeah. So I guess before we go into the whole passion thing, I think for me this is a topic that I think I briefly spoke about before on my channel. How I think when I first started making videos, in some ways for many years I've been like looking at videos or making videos as kind of like my passion. But to put it bluntly, as to put it broadly, as making videos is a bit too broad, because I've people who come up to me like, hey, I have a project at work, I need to make a video. Can you help me since you love making video? So I was like, yes, I like making videos, but not all kinds of videos, right? So my friend actually asked me to do some training video, which is like then fucking boring one lah. So obviously I said no, because I think people have that assumption that, oh, you like making video, then you like making all kinds of video, even the most boring of all. Yeah, it's your passion, ma. You do lah. You know, it's like telling a singer that, oh, you like to sing, right? Then you go and sing this Chinese New Year song lor. Dong dong qiang, dong dong qiang. Go and perform lah. You like singing, what, right? Go and sing dong dong qiang, right? So it's not the same thing, right? So for me, I think it was in university, and I think it was my third year in uni, where all engineers had to go through this course in NUS. As in, I was in NUS lah, so all engineers had to go through this course under HR. It's under business school, and one of the main criteria to one of the assessment lah that will be graded on is making a video.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so that's how I kind of like got first started. I think at that point, YouTube was growing. One of my biggest influence back then was, I think, Wong Fu Productions.
Oh.
Yeah, so when I had the chance to make that video, I kind of like took a lot of inspiration on how Wong Fu does it. Like in some ways I was doing storyboarding, but I didn't know that what I'm doing was considered a storyboarding.
Oh.
You know, like writing the scene and then like directing how each shot should be done. Like, should it be done interview style, or should it be done like in a certain way? So those were like kind of like my first experience to all these things. Yeah, so after I tried it, I was like, hey, this is kind of interesting. And subsequently, I got together with Xuete. Xuete is one of the guys that you have seen on my YouTube channel before. Usually he works behind the scene, but there are some videos that you can see his face lah. So yeah, we got together, we did our first video, and that's Hey Gloria. You can still see it on the YouTube channel. It's the first video that we have ever put up on YouTube. So I think that kind of sparked off the whole interest a lot more. And I took a lot of like in some ways, the best way to learn is to mimic someone, right? So I started like kind of like mimic how Wong Fu does it. Yeah, without like thinking or going through like why it works. It's just like, oh, if Wong Fu does it, this is kind of scene they will go for, and so on. So that's kind of what I kind of mimic and learn along the way.
How old are you?
Wow, 20. Wow. I mean, we go through NS, right? So guys are a bit older. 23? 23?
So it's been 10 years?
No lah, I'm not 33 lah. Oh, fuck you.
Close enough.
20, is it 23? 2012 or 2011?
So 8 years.
Wait, 2010 I'm year 1, 2011 I'm year 2, 2012 lah. So 8 years. 7 years. 7 years. Yeah. So from there I started to do more. I think I took part in the competition. We got into the top 25, like whoa. But actually I think maybe there's only like 30 plus of a team. So no, I think top 15. Was it top 15 or top 25? I can't remember.
I thought you were going to say there were 15 teams and then you're top 15.
No lah, there were quite a number of teams signed up, but yeah, I'm kind of happy that I was like, wow, like, you know, my second video that I ever like done properly was able to get such so-called level that I could get like top 20 or something. Yeah. But yeah, so I think from then on, at the time I was studying chemical engineering, right? So I think by year 3 I knew that I didn't want to do chemical engineering when I come out from work, because it's not exactly the most interesting thing to do, I feel. Like I didn't enjoy it, but like I decided to go through with it, you know, just to get that degree and like move on and see what else I can do. Yeah. So the story was that I actually joined this company. It's called High Flux. For a lot of Singaporeans, you all know that High Flux right now is in like kind of like deep shit. They're like liquidating. They're like basically the company is not doing well, huh? So I was in that company, and I was working directly under the CEO, and the work hours was terrible. And after 1 month, somewhere like third week, the incident that kind of like made me rethink everything was that okay, so but basically before that I kind of like okay, you know what, once I joined this company, I'm kind of like more or less got my life sorted out. I had that impression lah, like I just need a girlfriend, you know, and get married, and then like my life is sorted out. But at the same time I was quite I realized I wasn't happy lah, because it's like, wow, is this all there is to life? You know, like, am I just gonna go down this and will I be happy? Yeah, and I knew that if I continued, because at that point I started liking making videos, I wanted to make more, and that job actually kind of take that away from me, because the work hours are so bad. Like I have to go home at 11 or 12 midnight every day on a weekday. And by the time of weekends, you're just tired, right? You just want to rest. There's no energy for you to like do other things. So I kind of like knew that if I stay on this, my passion will die out, right? So I decided to, and there was an incident where one of my friends, he's actually going overseas to study for like 4 or 5 years, like PhD lah, but basically pursuing that. And I just wanted to send him off, you know, with my friends. So I actually made plans to go to the airport. I told my superior like, hey, you know, I need to go on this day, so I'll leave earlier. So initially they said okay, but on the day itself, there was actually a press conference going on for the CEO, and basically at that job, if the CEO needs to be involved, basically I have to be involved also lah. So I was like, okay, this is weird, like what should I do then? So I went to my superior again. I asked her like, is it okay for me to still go, cause I didn't know there's this thing. And that time she also agreed already. Then in the end they told me like, I think it's better for you to stay for the press conference. So at that time it kind of like clicked into me lah. I was very, very upset. Like, I wouldn't say I was upset with the job, but I was upset with myself, because I kind of like put myself in this position, and I realized that if I'm gonna stay in this company, more and more moments like this will occur. Yeah, I'm gonna miss out on a lot of things, other parts of my life, like my relationships with my friends, my family, and so on. Yeah, so that was when I decided to kind of like quit lah. But I mean, in the end, I managed to make it to the airport, because around 8 p.m. the event was more or less over. So I decided to just take and go, and they let me go lah. But it was already affecting me very, very, very badly. So I think the week after that I tendered. Yeah, I left, and at that time I was very, very confused, because at one point I was like, I really love making videos. Should I then go all out? You know, because I think in some ways I was thinking like, yeah, that should be the most important thing. But at the same time, there's also the other thought process, right? Like, if you're gonna chase your passion, then are you able to feed yourself? So at that time, I was quite I didn't know like what's next. So I started asking around people on Facebook. No, I didn't really ask around people on Facebook, but there was this
posted Facebook status.
Yeah, I did post a Facebook status talking about my frustration. But I reached out to one guy. His name is Ivan. Boss Ivan. I mean, we are not really close friends. We're just more or less acquaintances. I met him because he was performing at a bar called Beer Market. I think Beer Market still exists.
Clarke Quay down there.
Yeah, that one. So he was performing there. Then we kind of like add each other on Facebook. I don't know. Yeah lah. But basically not going into the details, because those are not important. The important thing is that I did see some of his Facebook status in that past few months before I messaged him on Facebook, that he's kind of like an entrepreneur, and he was at the time one of his businesses have kind of like failed. So he was kind of like sharing about on Facebook that like, even though you really, really love this product, I really, really want this to work, but sometimes a lot of things are out of control. Like your business partners at the start may seem like they are the best people to work with, but then like things can go sour because certain expectations are not met, or like interests start to misalign. Yeah, so I reached out to him because I'm thinking like, if I need advice, maybe I should get advice from someone who's an entrepreneur, who has been chasing things that they're passionate about. And one of the advice that I can still remember very clearly even today, and it's something that I kind of like still live by, is that that he said that a lot of people look at this whole chasing passion thing, and it's a very what's that word
Idealistic,
yeah, like dreamy,
romantic.
yeah, romantic. They have this very romantic idea of what chasing a passion is. It's like, oh, you know, you're gonna go for the grind, you really love what you're doing, doesn't
Hustle.
matter what other people, yeah, hustle, you know, there's this romantic idea behind it. But at the same time, people don't look at the flip side, which is the money. And money is important because that's how you survive, right? And I did remember also another conversation with my mom and my sis after I said that I wanted to quit and like possibly join a production house and earn like half the pay that I was earning. They were very upset with me because they're like, we gave you all this opportunity, the family gave you all this opportunity to study well, and like it's not like I paid for my own university, you know, like my family did help with all these things. So it's like we are the ones, the family was the one that brought you to where you are today. And you know, it's very selfish for me to just do something because I want to do it, yeah, without taking into consideration what the family needs. And I remember my sister was telling me like, if the family today suddenly requires large amount of money and you haven't been earning that money, how are you gonna help with that? Yeah, what's your role then at that point if let's say the family needs that money? And these are all very practical considerations lah, which I realized, that's why also in a dilemma, like do I you know just go all out and chase my passion versus like should I be a responsible family member and like provide to the family properly. Yeah, so that was when Ivan told me like his advice was to have a full-time job, to work and to earn a good money first. Yeah, then at the same time, you know, go down the path where you chase your passion. So you using your free time lah. Yeah, so in that way, because if the road to success in terms of chasing passion, it's not about being passionate and like and so on. It's more about your determination to keep going on, to keep trying and work on your craft despite having like other distractions. Like if you really really love what you're doing, even when you're working, you should be able to find the time to do what you want to do. I think that's in some ways testing your resolve lah. Yeah, if you look at it that way. Yeah, so if you do that and you keep doing it and keep going on and like honing your skills, one day you will be good enough to so-called pursue this full-time lah.
See, just now what you saying about going all out, and then your friend was saying get a full-time job and then do it on the side, right?
Yeah.
That reminds me of something I read in the bullet journal method.
Hey, you're a bit speak
Am I-
closer.
am I too- oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Is this better?
Yeah.
Okay.
You my god. This technical noob.
Eh.
Okay, sorry. We're pause for technical break.
Anyway, I was reading the bullet journal method, right?
Uh,
So this guy, he was saying, he gave like 3 examples of friends who
you
want
want to give some context to what is a bullet journal?
Oh, bullet journal.
Yeah, like people will be like, what the hell? Like you
Basically-
journal, then inside got a lot of ammunition.
Basically, a bullet journal is a planner. Yeah. And it's a system lah of how it's easier for people to plan their lives. Basically, it's to help people plan easier. Because the person who came out with it has like ADHD or something like that. So he has problems focusing. So he came out with this system to help him keep track of all the tasks that he needs to complete. Because, I mean, as you become an adult, you got a lot of things you need to do, a lot of live admin and all that shit lah. So he came up with this method to keep himself focused lah. So after he shared it and then it went viral like a few years back. So yeah, anyway, I was reading a book called The Bullet Journal Method, which he wrote, kind of sharing the philosophy behind certain modules or ideas that he had for the method that he came up with. So anyway, one of the things that he talked about was trying out something they've always wanted to do in a smaller, more controlled way. It's not like you don't go all out all at once. You start off small, so and then from there on build and see lah. So even if you start off small and then you fail, it's okay, it's controlled. Then later on, then you learn from this failure, why did you fail, and then apply the lessons to try again lah. So I was just like, oh, that reminds me of something that I read. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's like, I think I kind of like learned about that also. Cause for like 1.5 years or more, I think around there, I was doing weekly videos, right, on my YouTube channel. I think some of y'all who have followed me kind of knew me during that period.
Weekly,
and yeah, I made weekly video every Sunday for like 1.5 years.
And then we got together.
Yeah, but focus that's not the point. But I do agree, like, there needs to be some form of what do you call it, sustainability when you do things, and
a plan now basically.
Yeah, and if you are gonna go all out 100% and you expect yourself to do that for years and years, there might be people who is able to do that. Yeah, but I think like every individual is different, so I kind of got burnt out near the end. Yeah, because like it reached a point where it wasn't that fun anymore. It was just really like, I'm just throwing out content for the sake of it, just to meet that deadline. At the start, it was very helpful because it helped me keep me disciplined, having like some form of schedule and like timeline to work towards too. Yeah, so I mean, that's part of the reason why also I haven't been posting as much lah. Yeah, because I'm also like I guess I wanted to still enjoy making videos, and I realized that if I want to do that, I can't make videos every week or do it such consistent basis lah. Because there's also other things in my life, right? I'm not doing YouTube full time, you see. I don't have like working hours to be brainstorming and to be filming. Yeah, I don't. I do this like, it's like today's a weekend. I do it on the weekend. If I can do it, I do it on the evening after work. Yeah, which is basically time will pass very fast because you reach home, you bathe, you eat, you stone a bit, and then like, oh, it's you left a few hours to be productive before you head to bed. Yeah, so that there isn't that much time per se lah during that period. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know where I'm going down with this. But I think one of the things I wanted to cover was that is the whole what do you call that lah? I don't know. Do you have anything to add in?
About what?
I don't know. Like the whole passion thing.
Passion thing.
Yeah. Do you think you have a passion? Do you think?
Do I have a passion for anything?
Yeah. When do you consider something as your passion?
I guess when you take time out to do it. When you could very easily be binge watching YouTube videos or Netflixing. Yeah.
But that could apply to a lot of things, right? It could be applied to work. I mean, like
outside of work lah.
Like something that you enjoy doing without
any monetary gain inside. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just doing this because you
or
think
like
it's fun.
not say monetary, but like any other benefits.
yeah.
Like you do it just for the sake of
doing it.
Yeah, because you enjoy the process. You enjoy the outcome, and you don't need like other people's what do you call that? Approval? Not say approval, but affirmation.
Oh.
That like, oh, what you are doing is great. What you're doing is good. Like I don't need, like when I make my videos at the start, it was, I mean, in some ways, because if you are doing YouTube, right, in some ways you will get feedback, or like like, oh, is my channel growing? Are people watching? Are people subscribing? Like, these are things that will affect you. But at the very start, when I make my first video, it wasn't about that. It wasn't about like, oh, I think I can be a 1 million subscriber YouTube channel. Yeah, it's about just like, oh, I enjoy doing this. I think I enjoy expressing myself through the videos I make. Yeah, and that's why I do it. Yeah, yeah, and I have to say, I am my biggest fan of my channel lah. You know, I do go back and watch my own videos. Yeah, it's not narcissistic, but that's the content. I mean, I produce what I want to watch, right?
Yeah, it's okay. I go back and read my own stuff also.
Yeah, so
they'll be like, wow, actually that line quite good eh. I pat myself on the back.
And I'll look at the video like, wow, this scene really damn nice, yeah. I'm like, no one else is like talking about it or like commenting about it, but I myself is like, good lah, good. This quite pretty.
I mean, that's like you say, that's why we create the things we create, because these are the things that we want to see, that we're like, hey, actually, why don't we do it this way, and then we do it all. Yeah. So
for you, what do you think about, like, do you think that should people need to have a passion? And also to follow up with that is that do we strive to make our passion a job?
Let me think. I guess you have to consider the context. I don't think I need to make my passion my work. But then if that's the case, I mean, got people say I have no ambition before.
Like your friends.
Yeah. Because I'm like, oh, I just want to have a job where I go there and then do my work, and then it ends on time, and then I can go home and do whatever I want. And okay lah, I mean, the work that I'm doing now is very boring lah. So, but the thing is,
will your employer see this? Shit.
I'm pretty sure my supervisor knows it's boring too. Okay, but anyway, the thing is, the subject matter is boring, but the work itself, I still gain some sort of satisfaction from it, because it forces me to try to think of, okay, how do I make this interesting, basically, even though the subject matter is boring. So sometimes I look at the things that we come up with them, like, hey, that's not too bad. I mean, we provide a fresh lens, a fresh perspective on a boring subject. So in that part, it's still okay. But is it my passion? No lah. My passion is whatever I get to do in my time outside of work. So I think for me, it's important to have that protected time where I can work on that passion. Yeah.
But if you define passion like this, would be watching Netflix my passion. Sleeping is my passion. You know?
Oh.
Like,
I mean, I guess it's up to people lor. Whatever, I don't know. I mean, as in, not everybody has that desire to create, right?
Yeah.
But for me, what's meaningful is when I create something with my own hands, however shitty it turns out to be. I think it's that act of creation that brings more meaning to my life. Yeah, whatever that creation turns out to be lah. Even if the audience of one, which is me, but at least I created something that out of my own brain, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not just a passive consumer. Because it gets a bit depressing sometimes when all I'm doing is just binge watching YouTube videos.
Yeah.
It feels a bit empty.
Yeah, meaningless, right?
Yeah.
I think I had that. Yeah, I had that same train of thought before, and it's like I mean, I enjoy playing games, right? But I never saw myself as someone who can play games full time, and so on. And I think playing games also reach a point, if you are not doing it professionally, it's something that is just sucking away your time, right? Like, it's like watching Netflix. Like, at the end of the day, after 6 hours of watching Netflix or playing games, like, you have not improved as a person.
There's no net gain.
Yeah, there's no net gain. Like, oh, great, I am now able to use that hero a bit better than yesterday. Yes, that's gonna, bring me through my life and make me a better person. Like, it doesn't. Like, it doesn't do anything to you. It's just something that you relax.
I mean, this is our opinion.
Yeah. So I'm not. I mean, it's fine if someone doesn't have a passion, or like, if someone
desire to create.
Yeah, if someone decide to, that I want to enjoy life like this lah. This is the kind of life I want to live. I think that's perfectly fine. I mean, it's everybody is different, right? Yeah. So for me, I think the moment when I found out that I defined what my passion was. The moment where I left my job, and I think after speaking to Ivan, things got very clear. Yeah. So I wrote this short-term, long-term goal thing, and then like it becomes very clear to me what I want to achieve. And suddenly it feels like a veil has been lifted from me. Like the motivation was just like, it's just there. Like I don't need to be motivated. You know what I mean? And it becomes very clear because it, like, you have an objective and goal in life suddenly. You know, like everything I do will ultimately lead to that goal. So like, for example, if let's say I get a new job, at that point I'll get a new job, and if my goal is very clear that ultimately I want to come out and make video full time, then this job has to somehow in some ways lead me to that. Which is why I applied to, like, you know, government jobs. Not saying all government jobs are chillax, because I, after being in this area, I do know that there are people who has to work really, really hard. So it depends from departments and where
But
you
there
are.
are some people with the impression that...
Yeah, I mean, generally
Yeah.
the stereotype, right? Like for me, when I applied, I also had the stereotype thinking, oh, government jobs are all 9 to 5, you know, I sure got time. But I mean, when I got to my first position, it was, the work hours was quite comfortable. Like I do not need to OT a lot, overtime a lot. Yeah, so I had the luxury to still continue to chase what I want to do. I have the energy and time to kind of like work towards what I want to work on. Yeah, so it was very focused. Like, okay, my job needs to lead me there. And that's also part of the reason why I went to into that first position, which is towards comms already lah. Because in some ways, video making is very, very...
communications.
Yeah, it's a comms thing. It's very relevant to... Videos is very relevant to communications. And I think like the idea of... And I think for me right now, I'm very happy that I went down this route. Because like now, even when I make videos, it's also very clear. There's a lot of things I've learned in communications that has in some ways make me a better director, loosely put it. You know, like it's very objective driven. Like, what do you want to achieve out of this video? What are the messages? But it's still relevant. Like it sounds very like but I if you have seen some of my older videos, like there are some videos that has no direction one. There's no objective per se. I just want to create. In some way, it's fine if you want that creative. If you want that creative freedom, it's fine as well. But it should be clear lah. Like, what do you want to achieve out of this video? Do you want people to go, wow? Do you want to invoke some form of emotions? You know, is there deep down? Is there something that you want to tell the world? Yeah, and having all this thought process, thinking through like the messages you want to send across or the emotions you want to evoke, it helps make your video better. It will always make it better because it's more focused, it's more clear, and also the fact that you're thinking from the audience point of view. If I look at this, will I feel the way that I intended it for the audience to feel? Yeah. So in some way, it made everything become very focused lah. Once I knew what my passion was, but at that time lah, which is kind of what I want to talk about just now. I think I kind of remember is about this whole transition now. Like today,
Like,
I think my definition of this whole chasing passion thing is very different when I first started. Yeah. But back then it was like, I want to like make video full time. I can't see the other definition I have is I wanted to wake up on Mondays and not feel Monday blues. I mean, it's in some ways it's kind of naive, right? But it was something that I wanted to work towards too. Like, I don't want to drag myself to work. Because the way I thought about it was that you're going to work for the next 20, 30 years of your life. Or more, 40 years. I mean, the retirement age now is 60 over, right? When I first started working, it was like 25. I'm going to work for 40 years. Yeah, majority of my life, I will be working. And I want these 40 years to be meaningful and it's something that I can look forward to lah. It's not something that I drag myself. I feel like I will become a fucking miserable person if I'm gonna drag myself to work every day. Yeah. So then that's how I felt lah. But right now, I think the whole passion thing, I'm also a bit unclear, because there are things I've learned about, like for example, I don't think I'm able to make YouTube my full-time job. It's a fact, right? Unless this podcast suddenly become damn good, then suddenly, oh, I'm gonna do podcast full-time. I doubt so lah, huh? Right? I mean, this one is just do because I just find it fun to just talk about all these things. But now it's very different, eh? Because if you look at a lot of the YouTube, right, people who are doing full-time YouTube, it's a very different lifestyle, right? It's not like they are very it's very monetary driven right now in the current like if you really want to make a living out of YouTube, the way you approach YouTube will be very different. Like what I'm doing right now, if I'm a full-time YouTuber, I'll be begging on the streets. Like, and some of my audience, they're only here on my YouTube channel every year on Chinese New Year just to watch my Chinese New Year review.
Really bad.
Yeah, I have comments like people are like, oh, I'm here, like I'm here for this time of the year just for this video. Then my reply to that was like, yeah, I'm here as many times as you are. You know, so because I did gain quite a bit of subscribers and followers because of that one so-called viral Chinese New Year video.
Ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago. But yeah, so you can see like a lot of YouTubers, if you want to do things full time, the approach is very different. It's not just about making the content you want to do. You have to make content that your sponsors are happy. Yeah, you probably can't live through ads alone lah.
Actually, I've watched this lifestyle kind of fashion YouTuber.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think her video she was just talking about how she makes
sorry, you need to talk a bit closer. You know your voice sounds very echoey.
Oh, okay. So there was this lifestyle and fashion YouTuber that I was watching. Then she said actually her main source of income is AdSense.
How many subscribers does she have?
1.2 mil.
And how many views does she have on a frequent basis?
At least over
per
100k
video.
lah.
And she posts twice a week, once a week.
Yeah, I think about twice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she's saying, so the reason why she spoke about like AdSense is her main source of income, and then for this summer she wants to stop doing sponsored content because she feels like doing sponsored content will like take away, it will restrict her creative process like in a sense. Yeah, so she want to stop doing it for this summer. Yeah, so the interesting thing is that a lot of the comments underneath, and also I personally agree, a lot of people are just saying, just make the money lah, just go and do sponsored content lah. Why do you have to, as in, go and endorse the brands that you really do believe in and get that money. As your audience, it's not something that we really mind. Well, but then anyway, yeah, and the main point is that she's saying that her main source of income from YouTube is AdSense. So I'm just like, that's interesting, because I thought that YouTubers don't make much money from AdSense. But anyway,
I think it depends on your lifestyle, right? Like if you can be happy with just AdSense, you can get by.
Oh,
You probably can get by, but I think we have to think about like, if as a full-time YouTuber, you want to earn money, right? I mean, okay, now the way we are discussing this, it's not like we have very clear insights to how
YouTube works.
YouTuber works, you know, like the kind of income they have. But if you think about in the psyche of a YouTuber, like you know that this period is gonna be your prime period. Let's say you are quite successful now. You know that you're not gonna be successful all the time. And in some way this is your prime time. And in some ways you want to milk as much as possible during this period. So you can't be just happy with just earning money to get by. You need to think long term. Yeah.
Oh.
So if you can earn more, you should. It's like your like as a sports athlete, right? You earn a lot in the maybe first 10 years of your career.
Oh.
Then remaining part of your career you will taper off.
Wait, how do we get into this topic?
No, so I'm just talking about like why they need sponsored. So if you don't go for sponsor, it's fine. So you can get by. Yeah, but in the long term, it may not be a wise financial decision lah. I feel.
But anyway, tying back to what you were saying about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what were you saying?
Which part?
I don't know. You were
Just
saying
tying-
something about the how YouTube, the scene is very different. Oh, I know. How your perspective of what it means to chase your passion has
You need to
changed.
put your mic closer to your mouth when you talk. You're constantly
No,
moving.
but every time we move, then I have to go back.
No,
like
you
that.
don't go back. You look at how close I am.
But I feel very uncomfortable.
You need to speak like that. If not, the sound will betray,
I
and then
know.
the audience will complain. And then whose fault?
What audience?
You know,
Don't
the
complain,
reason
ah.
the reason why it's not. You need to put closer because it's echoey.
Oh, okay.
My place doesn't have those spongy thing to absorb
Okay,
sound.
is this better?
This is so much better. Yes.
Fine. And I'm sitting up straight, okay? Anyway, moving on.
I like how we have just 1 minute of. Sorry, guys. Continue. What you want to say?
No, what were you saying about what were you saying?
The money, is it?
No, not the money. Oh, how your perspective of passion has changed now that you're older.
Yeah.
or like-
Okay. So yeah. Okay. So the point about that was that like I realized I'm in a very comfortable position. I've told you before, right? Like the whole idea of like, if you make YouTube for the money, you will be doing content that you may not thoroughly enjoy, and I think a lot of there's very little YouTubers out there that's able to say that I'm just doing whatever I want, and I don't care about bringing the money. Because for me, I can do that, you know. It doesn't fucking matter to me whether my channel does well or not, or like this video has like 10 views. It doesn't fucking. I mean, it kind of like bruised my ego a bit lah. That's all it will happen lah, and time will heal lah. You know, I just like, okay, I don't put out the video ever again lah. But other than that, like financially, I don't depend on making on all these things on making money on YouTube. Yeah, you can tighten this if it's dropping.
No, the question, if I'm looking at you, then do I need to shift the mic?
No need lah. Do you see me shifting the mic?
No.
Yeah.
Why am I shift so much?
I don't know.
No, see if it's here. And then if I turn towards you, then my voice can still be picked up.
It's still okay, ah.
Oh,
See
still
me?
okay.
I turn around. You see? Okay, but I am on a rolling chair, right? Okay. Anyway, that's not the point. Wait, it distracted me. What was I talking about?
YouTube, videos,
Yeah, so I don't need
the money.
I don't need the viewers to get to make videos. And now my current arrangement of being able to do whatever I want and just like put up whatever content I want, it's because I have a full-time job. So that is kind of like a trade-off lah, right? I have a full-time job, but I can do whatever I want, versus I can do YouTube full-time, but I cannot do whatever I want. I need to please my sponsor. I need to please YouTube. You know, put out family-friendly content so that my videos doesn't get demonetized. Right. So I realized that right now in this balance, so-called, it's okay lah. It's actually a kind of like a best of both worlds. Like I don't have to worry about doing terrible videos or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah,
So-
I can just do whatever I want.
So what's the conclusion?
So, like, is this good enough as a passion?
I don't know. Is it?
I it's something that I'm trying to figure lah. Right now, I wouldn't say that I have the answer yet, but it's a very comfortable position right now. Yeah, in some ways, it kind of made me less motivated to keep pushing out content. But then again, I get to do whatever I want whenever I want to do it lah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So this might be a good middle ground. In the future, I'm not so sure. So, right? Because you know that I'm been in my job for quite a while now. I'm
5 years, right?
Yeah, I'm looking for my next step. I mean 5 years, but like I've changed role lah within that 5 years in the organization. I'm looking at my next step, and I wouldn't say that I have a very clear direction of where I want to go next. Yeah, it's something that's kind of like still in the works, and I don't know, hoping that like maybe when we do more podcasts, when we talk about all these things, like even now when I'm talking about all these things, it helps me also clarify, crystallize a lot of my thoughts, and like and see what I can do next and reflect on it. Yeah.
One problem with growing up And having a job means that you realize there's nothing. There's no like next goal to strive towards unless you create it for yourself.
Do you feel like
Institutional.
Singapore's education system is part of it? I feel like in Singapore we
Or very like exams driven.
Yeah,
like
we have
we need to score that
I
grade.
don't I know, but that is a sub problem. It's like a sub issue. The main issue is about the pragmatism,
Oh.
right? Singaporeans are all very pragmatic people, so it's like when you're growing up, your parents are never like, go be a pop star. So Singapore where got pop
boy,
star.
let me send you for singing classes.
Yeah, they say singing classes. Then when you go and study A level, hey, stop your singing classes, go and study your O level properly. Go and study your PSLE properly. I remember back then when I was in primary school, I was in scouts. But when I was primary 6, my mother made me quit scouts and join Max Olympiad. the Max Olympiad team. Which is like and I go into the Max Olympiad team and get certificate of participations.
For what?
Like
And
you
then
never
frame me up,
No,
is it somewhere?
basically if you don't do well, instead of getting certificate of distinction, you get a participation lah.
Yeah. Then
Yeah
what
lor.
you do with the cert, you frame me up later.
I don't know,
Your
I
mother
don't-
still keep somewhere.
I think I might still have it in my cupboard. It's like there's nothing you can do with that shit. But basically,
Singaporean.
like grades are important. It's an Asian, I guess, it's an
I don't
Asian
know,
thing.
I think so. I mean, when we were in school, it's always okay. I got that exam. I need to
Closer.
score. I need to score A's for the exam. Okay, score A's already. There's the next exam to score A for. Then after that, you got O level. Then you score A again. After that, you go on. Then after you graduate already, then university, you come out with that cert, and then there's no more A's to strive for. That's it.
You know, this woman is a fucking straight A student.
It's not that
It's not that hard. Do you hear that? Fucking humble bragging.
hard.
Fucking mother beach. You mother beach. A lot of people
Wait,
is
actually,
like,
I cannot. I mean, as in, the education system clearly works for people like me who's good at like rote learning, right? So I mean, I can't complain against the education system because it brought me to where I am. But then the problem with that, it breed this mindset of like, okay, you score A, score A, score A. Then you score A already, then you realize there's no more A's in life to score for. Then what do you do with your life? That's when existential dread sets in.
okay, that's another topic for another day, right? I know you have this issue with existential
Dread.
dread, but that's another topic for another day. But the point about this is that, like you said lah, we are always chasing, right?
Yeah lor.
And chasing all these grades.
Yeah.
It's never about like whatever passion or something you love doing. It always take a backseat.
It becomes a question. But you got passion, but can you score A for that? If you can, then
Yeah, can you
lah.
make a living? Yeah, you like drawing? Can you make a living or not? Where got drawers earn decent income one? Like the parents, most of our older generation, they won't get it one. You know, only a few people will be willing to kind of like take the
Yeah.
risk or like allow
Then-
their children to explore further in that lah.
But then, that means we privileged.
We are lah. But the problem is, even we are privileged, we are still very pragmatically driven.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like in a lot of developed Western world, it's a bit different, right? Like, oh, your kids have this passion, let them go for it. But in Asian family, it's like, no, you go and study. Yeah, go to university. If you don't go to university, you're gonna be a road sweeper. Right? Sounds familiar, right? You're gonna
Road
clean.
sweeper.
You're
yeah.
gonna clean that. You're gonna
Who
empty
hasn't had a road
dustbin.
sweeper?
Yeah, that's the kind of things that your parents will tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Road sweeper.
yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, and then the thing is that like even at work, I know there are some people who like strive to climb that ladder, like the career ladder.
The corporate ladder.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, it's called corporate ladder. Corporate ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's very hard when you don't even strive to do that. Then it's like, what's next?
Mm.
Like that lor. Just
Mm.
find a job that's interesting enough lor.
Mm.
I think that's more important than finding one that helps to that helps you climb the corporate ladder. I mean, you need to make a living clearly. Make a living at the same time is interesting enough because you have to do it 5 times a week. And maybe on weekends if your job requires.
But that's very vague, right? Like everybody is just trying to find a job that's interesting.
Enough. For me,
Enough.
it's enough. It doesn't need to be interesting, like super interesting. And every time you go to any party, people are like, whoa, that's a cool job.
Mm.
I mean, my current job is like, I work in
But what do you mean by interesting? Interesting in the sense that the content is interesting, or interesting in the sense that it's
I
aligned
think
to
I'm still
what
learning.
you like, what you
like-
like to do.
Interesting enough in the sense I'm still learning lor.
But
About
learning,
comms lah.
So, but you say you have a passion towards comms?
No.
Yeah, but you say interesting ma. So interesting that you're learning. You can be learning things that you don't care for. Would that be interesting?
Oh. Okay, I think interesting in the sense that it always helps me to learn and understand something about my world better.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Like different aspects. I mean different parts of I'm on my second job so far, right? So at least my 2 jobs so far has helped me understand aspects of Singapore lah, in a way. So I'm like learning different things. It's kind of like similar to how like I pick out the books that I pick out to read lah. I mean it helps me understand and process my environment a bit better. So I think that's what I term by interesting. So not just that in terms of skills, but in terms of just like general knowledge. Yeah. So one good thing about comms is that you can pretty much work in any industry. Because they always have comms job there. Yeah. That's one interesting thing.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yep. Remember I was like doing the bullet journaling method, one of the things. Hey, stop, don't roll your eyes.
Oh my god, here we go. Okay, yeah, sorry. Carry on. Your
Remember, I was
airtime.
like
I let you have your airtime,
Hey.
yes. Your
Bullet
your bujo. This woman has been suddenly so into this whole bullet journal thing.
Hey, helps me plan my life, okay?
Yeah, you spend more time
Gives me
planning.
motivation.
You spend more time planning your life than doing your life.
Excuse me.
Okay, that's an assumption. Assumption.
Items, yeah, one of the actionable items I already executed, okay, ahead of schedule. What about that? Huh? Anyway, what my point was.
Hashtag triggered.
No, I was just I was sharing with you on
speak into the mic.
I was sharing with you on Wednesday, right? Remember?
Yeah.
About the what's your goals in 5 years time? What do you see yourself striving to achieve? Yeah, I don't know, man. 5 years.
I think one way to, if any of y'all is still like thinking about what to do,
If anybody's still listening.
yeah, probably at least 10 people I hope. Got 10 people happy already. Yeah, but no, the point is that I think what Ivan helped me back then was also that if you know what you want to do, and sometimes like certain things that you want to achieve at the end of the day seems like a bit too big to even comprehend. Like, oh my god, sometimes you feel overwhelmed. Like, oh, this thing that I want to achieve is so huge, so difficult to achieve. Yeah. And one thing that which the bullet journal did also, which Ivan also told me back then, was that
Maybe Ivan read the bullet journal method.
I'm quite sure he doesn't. Okay, I can ask him to verify, but okay, that's not the point. The point is that it's important. It's very, very helpful. Not important, but very helpful if you plan out by your short-term and long-term goals.
Oh.
Yeah, because I mean there's a lot of ways you can do it. Like bullet journaling has a method. Like you have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
5 years, 4 months,
3 weeks, 2 days, and 1 hour.
Yeah, okay. That's one way. Like plan out what you want to do. But back then, what I did was to plan out my short term, which I saw was like 1 to 3 months, and long term is like maybe in years or like my ultimate end goal lah per se. So it helps you when you break it down and you know that you need to achieve like a few items first before you move on to the next step, and you slowly break it down and you give yourself that time frame to do it. You realize that actually most of the things that you want to achieve is not that hard. Yeah, but it's just that you need to put in the effort lah. It's always you can't just like, oh, short term goal, then you just sit there and then things will happen.
Yeah.
Like you need to consciously plan your life and like make the effort. Yeah, make the effort to achieve these goals lah. Yeah, and I think that helps a lot to make the entire goal less overwhelming and less daunting lah.
That reminds me of my favorite manga. There's this scene that always stuck me. Every time I feel overwhelmed, then I thought of that part. Which is basically, it's Fruits Basket. I don't know if
Nerd.
what the fuck?
Okay, I read a lot of manga.
Fruits Basket.
Yeah, but
It's very moving, okay?
Okay.
But anyway, the point is the main character was facing like a lot of problems, right? So then the guy who was giving her advice used the analogy of laundry. So he said that like, imagine you got this giant mountain of laundry at your feet.
Okay.
And then you feel very overwhelmed, right? And you don't know how can you really tackle this giant mountain of laundry. Then he said what you can do is just start at what's at your feet.
Mm.
And then before you know it, your mountain is gone.
Mm.
You just keep cleaning what's at your feet lah, basically.
Mm.
Yeah. So just like stuck with me, man, since I was a kid.
Mm.
Laundry mountain.
I think that okay, so I think to kind of like end off the last thing or last topic that we have for this podcast, I wanted to talk about people who who find that they don't have a direction in life.
Oh.
I think a lot of my peers, like, you know, back then when I was young, I always think that 30 years old or 20 when I'm 21, or like 30 years old, I should have
I have
my
my
life.
shit figured out.
Yeah, all my shit is figured out. Like I'm gonna live that normal life that my parents live. Like
I'm gonna
get
buy HDB,
married.
you know.
Yeah, get a proper job, bringing income, have kids. Yeah, like everything is sorted out. Everything's sweet already. Yeah, you think that all 30-year-olds are like that? Like, newsflash, like
Nobody
majority.
has their shit together.
Majority of us doesn't have our shit together. Majority of us are still figuring out what do we really want or what do we want to achieve. Yeah, I think having that whole normal, so-called normal lifestyle of like having kids, all this, like getting married, is fine. It's like, I think these expectations are important to the society to function. Yeah, but there are some of us that are like always constantly not sure what we want to do, and like being directionless. What do you think these people can do?
Start with the laundry at your feet.
Like they don't know. Like for example, like I have
Oh.
friends who have said like, "Oh, I got no passion. I don't know. There's nothing that I like to do. Like I do on my free time." I ask them, "What do you do on free time?" They will say, "Sleep lor." Like
But-
Netflix lor.
But then my question is there anything wrong with what they're doing?
No lah.
Did they like ask you like
Yeah,
what
no.
can
So
I do?
so they will say things like, "I hope to have something like
passion.
this."
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
They hope to have that.
I guess look at yourself and think about what have you always enjoyed doing, or what have you always looked at it and then thought like, hey, maybe I can try that one day. I mean, the one day is now lah. Then just try lah, but try it in like a controlled manner. You know, like the bullet journal method. Hey, it's effective. Then break it down into mini tasks. Like for example, I think one of the things that the book that the bullet journal method talked about also is like, just break it down into the tiniest tasks. Like for example, you want to start drawing, right? One of the tasks to do, buy a book. That's one task to complete. And then it's already taking one step towards it. Buy a book, buy a pencil. Then maybe one of the tasks for one day will be, let me just draw a flower or something. You know, break it into very doable things. And then after I read the book, right, then when I start applying at work also, then I realized it works. Because like, I have to write annual report, right? And then there's a lot of sections. Then I just wrote down on my task list, which like, okay, write 2 sections first. Yeah. And then that helped me to see that it's not that huge, like that I don't keep procrastinating, because I'm like, yeah, I can do 2 sections. In the end, I didn't finish one lah, because it was a lot. But anyway, the point is, it helps to recontextualize what you're supposed to do, I guess. Yeah.
I think because you are going down so your main point back that was that they should think about
What have they always...
what have they always enjoyed, maybe as a kid.
Yeah.
You
Or
know?
like have always looked at, maybe you're on Instagram, then you're scrolling, then you saw like a cool knitting thing, and then you're like, hey, maybe I could do that one day.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think riding on that point, I feel like what these people, or like if you are one of these people who lack so-called, who wants to have something that they are passionate about but don't have anything, one thing is you must go out there and try things. Yeah, you cannot be looking at Netflix every day, sitting there and then like, oh, I got no passion. like for me, when I started making videos, thankfully I was being thrown or put in a position where I had to try it. Right. And I guess when you're working now, when you do have so-called these projects, it's very hard for you to try new things by just going through life. Yeah. You need to put yourself out there to try new things, to experience new things. Yeah. So it could be learning a new language. It could be traveling to specifically certain things. Like traveling is not a passion, okay? I know there are like people who like traveling is a passion.
On your Tinder profile.
Traveling is the same thing
Traveller.
as going to watch Netflix and playing games,
Wait, but last night,
right?
a lot of our classmates say that they like traveling.
Okay, don't bring that in. That's
Oh, okay.
out of our. Nobody understand what you're talking about, right? So the point is like, traveling itself is not a passion. You need to do something more than that. Right?
Like maybe the end product is you want to have a nice journal or
Yeah.
like nice Instagram photos even. Like, why not?
Yeah, like if your passion is like I want to write, I want to be a travel journalist, then that's fine. Like everybody loves traveling. Like no shit. Like almost everybody loves traveling. Traveling is always fun. It's a fun thing to do. Yeah, but there should be more than that. You know, when it comes to passion. So go out there and try new things. Sign up for courses, get your friends. If you have friends, it's easier to try new things together, lah, right? As opposed to like doing it alone. You don't have to be perfect or really good at something for it to be your passion. Right? When I started making videos, I wasn't super good at it. Right? No one is super good at something when they started doing it. Yeah. And the only reason why they are very good now is because they
kept
love
trying.
doing it, they keep doing it, and they get better at it. Yeah. So, yep, go try new things. And I think this is something that also applies to us also lah. Like for me, this podcast is something that I wanted to try and do. And I actually recently a lot of YouTubers has been doing podcasts also. So I guess that kind of influenced me a bit. Then this podcast might be damn boring and whatever, but you know you never know until you try it and work on it. So
Hopefully next episode will be better.
yeah,
I think we got a pretty interesting episode up. Next one.
next one. We already decided.
Yeah? No?
What is it? The next one? What's the next one we want to talk about?
Marriage, right?
Oh, is it? Is that the next one?
Yeah. I want to talk about astrology and then you don't want to talk about it.
What's that to talk about?
Hey, I had an
astrology?
idea we could talk about personality quizzes. Maybe we could do it like on the spot,
okay.
you know? But
Okay.
anyway.
Personality, I'm fine. Astrology? What's that to talk about? The conversation is just no lah. It's dumb lah. How would some stars in the skies determine who you are? And then you have 1/12 of the population that's identical to you. So right? So it's like
That's zodiac, that's not astrology. Is it? I
astrology
don't know
also got 12, right? No meh?
lah. No, eh? I don't know.
About every 1
Less
month
than
got
that.
one man.
No, man.
There lah. Some zodiac is every year leh. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but every 12 years, what?
Yeah lah.
How many animals are there?
But I mean, essentially, yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay,
12.
but
Right? But that's the point is that, like, oh my god, we are the same. We are
Okay,
Libras.
fine. The point is that he don't want to talk about it. So we thought of another topic, right?
Yep.
Which I thought of,
Yep.
by the way.
Yeah. So let's see how this goes. Thanks for listening. I hope that
Yeah, thanks for being here for 1 hour.
yeah
Like, kudos to you.
yeah. I hope that we will be able to do this a bit more frequently. I think it also depends on the reception. I invested some money on all these things already, so I hope to use this a bit more. I'm now limited to only 2 speakers because the mixer that I bought is only for 2 mics. But in the future, if let's say if things gets more interesting, I might upgrade my stuff, and then I think having a 3-way conversation might be good too.
3-way.
Yeah, 3-way. Yeah.
Then you can't do it in this room already though.
Yeah. We need to figure out a better setup.
Anyway, we'll just cross that bridge when we get there. We'll see how many people are still listening at this point.
Yeah.
Should we shut up, guys?
Yep. Thanks for listening to the first ever broadcast. Credits to Yvette. You know, it's the most creative thing we can come up with. We're like, oh, podcast.
That was
I'm
the
bored.
only thing
Why don't we call it broadcast? Ha ha.
That was the only thing we came up with. You didn't even try to come up with another
I
title.
didn't. I was like, okay lah. Simple enough. It's catchy. Okay lah. Let's just go with it lah. I mean, it's not like perfect pun, but somewhere there lah. And thanks to Nicole also for designing the thumbnail. She helped me draw that cute thing. So, yep.
Yeah, cute.
So that's it from us. I hope to do this once every month at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, once every month at least. If I don't think we can do as frequently lah. Difficult to arrange. But we see what we can do lah. So Thanks
Yep.
for listening, and hear you guys soon. No, see you guys. I can't see you. If you're listening, you can see. Okay, maybe we should just stop. Bye.
Bye.